Right, what a real turnaround would take is less heat and more light. Give the country a scoreboard, not a soundbite. The UK's asylum system cannot be fixed with headlines, PR gestures, or stopgap hotels. A genuine turnaround requires clear, measurable action on three fronts: flow, returns, transparency. So you drain the hotels by fixing flow, not optics. Start with the decision surge. Hire and train decision makers and increase tribunal capacity to clear claims fast. Start with nationalities historically at the extremes of recognition rates, high or low, so that triage reduces backlog efficiently. This alone collapses hotel demand. Measure weekly intake versus outputs and publish the results to maintain accountability. Create a housing pipeline. Shift from emergency hotels to standard dispersal housing using block leasing and local authority partnerships. Provide councils with full cost grants over multiple years, tied to measurable outcomes. NAO cost benchmarks suggest this is cheaper than relying on hotels and avoids legal standoffs over long stay temporary accommodation. Cut dead time. Stop administrative yo-yo withdrawals, where cases re-enter the system months later. Each delay wastes months of processing time and inflates hotel costs unnecessarily. Next, make bilateral deals bite. Convert memoranda of understanding, like the Iraq 2025 agreement, into full operational pipelines. Document processing, dedicated flights, and casework teams. Publish monthly removal statistics broken down by route, voluntary v enforced, and nationality, so public expectations match reality. Operate regional safe route swaps. Negotiate small, legal entry quotas, family reunion, humanitarian pathways, with countries that can accept faster returns of failed applicants. This reduces dangerous crossings while preserving lawful protection routes. C. Honesty with the public. Transparent outcomes. Report grant rates at first decision and after appeal on the first line of every press release. Stop presenting extremes, 0% or 100%, which mislead the public and fuel local anger. Publish monthly hotel headcount, per night costs, contractor payments, and large site spending versus targets, validated by the NAO. Citizens, councils, and parliament should be able to see whether policy interventions actually reduce costs and improve flow. Only by measuring, reporting, and acting on real data, not headlines, can the country move from anger and confusion to a system that works. Next up is anticipating the critics, so you don't have to. The loudest answers aren't the truest, the audited ones are. Every asylum debate attracts slogans, but a closer look at the data and legal reality tells a different story. Just deport them faster? Well, yeah, faster removals make sense, but speed isn't magic. Achieving it requires judges, escorts, detention capacity, identity documentation, and functioning bilateral returns agreements. Enforced removals have always been a minority of total returns, and without operational capacity, the slogan is a wheel spin. The grant rate proves the system is too soft. High grant rates don't necessarily mean open borders. For many nationalities, conditions in their home countries are objectively dangerous, which is why European peers also grant protection at high rates. That appeals lift the success rate to roughly 70% shows that the challenge is initial decision quality, not ideology or laxity. Barges and bases are cheaper. The NAO disagrees. Emergency barges and mega bases consistently overshot costs, failed to deliver planned capacity, and kept hotel usage stubbornly high. Headlines claiming savings deny the fiscal reality. Councils are playing politics. Some may be motivated by ideology, but in Epping, the issue was planning law and material change of use, criteria that courts will apply consistency to any hotel, anywhere. This isn't about political preference, it's statutory compliance. When the debate is noisy, we need to rely on audited evidence, legal rulings, and verified statistics. That's where truth lives, far from slogans, spin, and soundbites. What's next? The political stakes and traps. What would you choose? A fix that's boring but real, or a fight that's exciting and endless? The asylum system is no longer a theoretical debate. It's a high-stakes political minefield, and every party faces risks if they misread the operational reality. For Labour, the choice is stark. You can own a measurable fix, investing in decision makers, tribunals, and housing, or you inherit the hotels, court defeats, and runaway bills. Iraq-style bilateral deals are politically convenient, but without processing and housing capacity, legal, fiscal, and community consent remains elusive. Failure to deliver measurable outcomes will haunt the party in councils, parliament, the press, and at the ballot box. For the Conservatives and Reform-type parties, cheering Epping-style injunctions is a double-edged sword. You own the closures and the question of where displaced people go. Opposing hotels while blocking housing or tribunal expansion is an argument for more street homelessness and higher costs, which shows up clearly in public dashboards and audits. In other words, short-term political theatre creates long-term operational accountability. Smaller and niche parties, other parties face stakes of a different kind. The Liberal Democrats and the Greens are advocating rights-based solutions that can attract criticism for being soft on borders, even when proposals are evidence-based. Misjudging public tolerance or backlog pressures can damage credibility. UKIP, the Independence and Reform variants, have tough rhetoric, maybe, and that may gain visibility, but if enforcement, housing, or tribunals lag, they inherit responsibility for negative outcomes, legal, fiscal, and reputational. And the regionally focused parties, their local stances carry concrete consequences, as hotel placements affect council budgets, legal risk, and community sentiment. Visibility is high, but accountability is immediate. There are rhetorical and legal pitfalls. Government should not promise dates for deportations that are outside its control. Foreign courts and governments govern pace. Use of illegal versus asylum seeker. Premature labels mislead the public and risk legal censure. Hotel legality. It is not right to imply temporary accommodation is lawful indefinitely. Epping shows courts will scrutinise material change of use. Political expediency is tempting, but the system doesn't reward soundbites. Real accountability requires measured action, transparency, and acceptance of operational realities. So what happens next? It's a binary choice. The UK asylum system is at a crossroads. There are no shortcuts, no spin, no headline fixes that will work. Citizens, civil servants, and politicians alike face a choice, and the clock is ticking. So path A is politics first. This choice would keep the current cycle going. More hotel injunctions, bigger bills, slower decisions, angrier communities, and noisier press releases. In this scenario, ministers and the opposition alike can score points in the short term, but the operational and fiscal consequences will only intensify. Hotels will remain full, legal challenges will mount, and public trust will erode. The system will become a perpetual emergency, and slogans like crackdown or deterrence will ring hollow when the dashboards show otherwise. Path B. Competence first. Alternatively, the government can focus on competence over optics. This means a decision surge. The government can hire and train caseworkers and tribunal staff, triage nationalities with extreme recognition rates, and measure weekly intake versus outputs. Fund dispersal housing. The government moves away from emergency hotels to invest in sustainable local authority partnerships and tie grants to outcomes. Operational returns. The government makes bilateral agreements like Iraq function in practice, not just in press releases. Honesty with the public. The government stops massaging the numbers and tells citizens what the system actually does, not what spin promises. The payoff is clear. Less political theatre, lower costs, predictable flow, and calmer communities. It is boring but effective, and it respects the public's right to the truth. We don't need new villains. We need new habits. We need decisions grounded in evidence, economics, and legality, not slogans. Every minister, council, and party that intervenes inherits responsibility. The question is whether they will own it with competence or dodge it with spin. The choice is binary, and the stakes are high. Path A is chaos, Path B is control. The system and the public cannot afford indecision. I've been Mike Sivier, and it's time to buy me a coffee. It means donating cash to help keep Vox Political alive. Donate more than £20 and I'll give you a free copy of my reissued first book, Strong Words and Hard Times. A new book is on its way soon. Subscribe to the video mailing list, like and comment on this video clip. If you do that, you'll be helping keep this channel alive, and then you'll be able to see me in the next one.